Guys, 2022 was such a special year. So much took place. I went to 7 different countries, and these countries are Pakistan, Ukraine, Poland, Romania, Mexico, Israel, Egypt. That's 7. Can't leave on my home, the United States of America. This entire year, I've been to 8 different countries, including the country that I'm in right now. As soon as the war broke out in Ukraine, I contacted my friend Slavic, which has a ministry out there, a Solid Rock Mission, and we went down there and we helped train teams going into Ukraine, preaching the gospel in Ukraine, providing humanitarian aid in Ukraine, and documenting what God is doing in the country. And the documentary is actually being released pretty soon by my boy Alejandro. And then after that, immediately right after that, I went with Nia Cerise and Josiah to Pakistan, where we had 2 great gospel campaigns where we saw over 10,000 people give their life to Jesus in a very unreached country where 99% have not actually heard the gospel, according to Joshua's project. And then, skip ahead, I had the opportunity to go and get trained under the vice president of Oral Roberts University, Michael Matthews. He got me certified in metaverse design, and then he got me a job with BFC Pharaoh. So that's what happened this year. We're actually planting churches in the metaverse, which is crazy. Guys, think about the future. We need to start thinking how we can start reaching people in the metaverse, going into these virtual places and reaching people in every single sphere and every single way that we possibly can. And then we went to Mexico in June, where we saw a bunch of people give their life to Jesus also in the campaign that we had out there. And in July 2022, my friend Brett calls me on the phone, and he said they've been planning a gospel campaign outreach in Cairo, Egypt for an entire year. And he said, hey man, do you want to come with me? The Lord said I need to bring someone with me. So we flew down to Israel. We spent 2 days in Jerusalem. We checked out and we saw where Jesus walked, where he talked to people, where he healed the sick, where he did all these crazy miracles. We witnessed to some Jews there. We saw the power of God be released over Jews. We saw Jews healed, and at which we were there a lot longer to see God move a lot more. But then we continued on our journey all the way to Cairo, Egypt. It was like a 3-day journey. We went from Tel Aviv, where the airport was, to Jerusalem to Elot, which was like a 3-4 hour drive. We stayed the night in this hostel where people were partying all night long. We didn't get a chance to sleep. We ended up crossing the border to Taba. We were told that once you cross the border to Taba, there was a bus to get to Cairo, Egypt. Turns out we got there and there was no bus to Cairo, Egypt, and we were about a 6 to 7 hour drive from there. Not knowing the language, we're foreigners in this random country. We don't know anybody, and we're like, what in the world do we do? On our way to the gospel campaign, we actually find out that the biggest church in Cairo, Egypt, actually gets set on fire. It could be a terrorist attack. We don't know. Over 40 people get killed. Over 50 people are injured. And we're like, man, we just have a limited amount of time to find a brand new venue, because our venue got canceled because of this, unfortunately. So in 2 weeks, we find this field in the middle of the hood in Cairo, Egypt. And there is where we saw the power of God be released like crazy. I've never experienced it like that. I'm young. I probably will experience something even greater in the future, but I've never seen him personally move the way that he's moved. For the first day of the campaign, we had about 5,000 people on the field. On the 5th day of the campaign, we had over 50,000 people on the field with $1,000 worth of marketing, which is like nothing. Literally, we had just a few flyers that we were able to hand out like on the streets and stuff like that. But there we had over 109,000 in attendance. So a different ministry donated 30,000 Bibles to us, which we were able to give out, which is amazing. We had a bunch of follow-up material that we were able to give to these people that were giving their life to Jesus. We're having high-level religious leaders were coming, giving their life to Jesus, and they were coming and they were like wanting to testify, and we're like, man, we praise God, the Lord saved you, but honestly, like, we can't have you testify, because if that happens, it could get dangerous. It was amazing. We were having gang leaders coming, bringing their entire gangs. They were giving their life to Jesus. We're having Muslims that were literally like their full-on attire, coming out of wheelchairs. Like, it was like the most glorious thing I've ever seen. I remember standing on the stage like, God, this crowd is just going so wild. I don't even know what to do. I'm trying to step to the side and just let you do what you need to do. And literally every single night that these campaigns, they pretty much kept doubling. We actually had a mass baptism. On the last day of the crusade, we actually laid hands on every single person that came to the field, which you could just imagine, 50,000 people. It took hours and hours and hours to do so. From that, I've never seen so many demons manifest in my life. There was literally thousands and thousands of demons that were falling on the ground. They were having to drag them over to the demon tent. We have a deliverance team that's in the demon tent. We don't want to give any glory to the demons, so we just kind of put them to the tent and they kind of deal with it. But guys, this year we've seen tens of thousands come to Jesus. We've seen many baptized. We just seen God really move very powerfully. And I just wanted to make this recap. Not really for you guys, but really for myself, so I can look back in the future and be like, man, this is where it all started. This is the first year that Lord has really breathed on this ministry, and it is just the start. And next year is going to be even more powerful. So just stay tuned on this journey. I love you guys. Bless you guys.